Hello and welcome back to another random review and how-to. Today we're going to be reviewing three different Drew Barrymore appliances here in our kitchen. We got the Drew Barrymore 1.1 cubic feet microwave. We got the Drew Barrymore 2-toast toaster. And we also have the Drew Barrymore electric tea kettle. So let's go ahead and start here with the microwave. Now, all of these products, minus the tea kettle, are touch. So as you see there, I touch that when it turns on, and I turn that. So the control panel doesn't pop up, which is actually a nice feature because once they go to sleep, you don't have to see them visibly in the kitchen. So I do like that feature about it. I will say though that if you start your microwave and let's say you pop it open and close it, you do get that blinking on there. So you always got to come back and clear it. So with kids in the house and obviously people running in and out microwaving things, you don't always want to finish. And so it blinks a lot. So that is probably the one little kind of not a great feature. It doesn't time out ever. Opening the door, you just have to go in and clear it out like that. So if we go in here, we go ahead and hit our control button. You can see our different sensors here and the digital presets. There's 15 different digital presets. If you go ahead and click on the first one, you see this is the sensor cook, and then it has a little setting right there that says potato. If you scroll through here, you got rice, oatmeal, frozen dinner, frozen vegetable, and fish. And then whenever you're ready, you just hit start and it goes on. We got a sensor reheat. There's only three options here. You have soup, pizza, or pasta. I guess they decided right away what we were going to be reheating in here. Auto cook has 6 settings, but I honestly don't know what they are and I can't find the manual. And I never use this button. I don't think anybody in this family does. So I don't know what the auto cook's for. I always set mine by time. So if you want more on that, you got to find the manual. Time wait defrost. So here you got either a time defrost, so I could go in here and add some minutes, or I can hit it again and it goes to def 1, which is defrost 1. And then this is the amount of pounds, so 1, 2, or 3 pounds. Under there we got power level. This button doesn't do anything, so I'm not sure if that's activated at another time, but doing anything, holding it in, nothing works there. We have a time cook where we could just add some minutes. Oh, time cook, add some minutes, and we hit start, and now we're running. Timer clock, that is where you could just set a timer, or if you hold this button in from here for like 3 or 4 seconds, it'll beep. It goes into the hour. You can set it to a 12-hour or a 24-hour clock. Select it there, you hit start, and then it's going to ask you for the hours first. You hit start, and then you could add your minutes, and then when you're ready to set the time, you hit start again, and that will be the time you got. And then the way we use this the most in this family, and honestly, I was starting to use it. I said, why isn't there just a number button so I could punch in numbers? You do end up coming in here, and let's say you're making something like rice, which takes 10 to 12 minutes to cook, depending on the cups. You got to go in and push it, and then add. And then if you want to add 30 seconds while you're going, all you do is keep hitting that button. That's kind of a nice feature, especially when it's running. I know that, that probably needs another 30 seconds, so I'll hit that button. But just setting it that way kind of becomes a pain in the butt. I wish they would have had like a digital keypad that would pop up. That would have made things a little bit better. Overall, though, I mean, if you're looking for a low profile, the dimensions on this are 17 length, 21.2 width, and then it has a 12.2 height. I did bring a fork. This is a 7¼ inch fork. I know it just kind of disappears there in the counter, but I brought that just to show some size on these products. But overall, we really like this microwave. I will say early on when we got it, I had 2 different incidents where somebody put mac and cheese in without water, and you could see what happens underneath. So we are going to be looking to get a new one. That happened from, if you've ever put mac and cheese in the microwave without, and this is a real family, see how nice and dirty that is. That's because we do a lot of rice and we don't clean up afterwards. And that's probably a thing I would talk about is you can clean, but when we put the mac and cheese in without water, it creates such a stench and smoke that billows out of here. It just coats everything. And when we open this, it had this yellow discoloration. So I've actually tried bleaching it. You could see it there a little bit. I've tried bleaching it, wiping it out, and I think that those chemicals and everything else in here ruined it. So it didn't hold up inside. That's user error completely. We are going to get a new one, but we just haven't yet. But the price on this at the time of this video is $130. You could buy it on Amazon. I have that link down below. It comes in 6 different colors too. So if you kind of are going for a modern look, we obviously wanted to match this to the style here with the white cabinets. We repainted all this. They were actually brown, as you can see inside. Repainted all these and then added the backsplash. So we just wanted the white to match. And this is kind of like an off barnyard white a little bit. Now let's go ahead and move on to our 2-toast toaster. Let's give some quick dimensions. Here's my fork for reference again real quick. The dimensions on this are 8.11 high and 6.57 wide. It's 900 watts. This is a $40 product on Amazon, also linked below. Again, it comes in the color scheme that we were looking for to match. Another digital level here. So you have some buttons. You got gluten-free, bagel, or frozen. And then down here is the browning settings. So you could actually have 7 different settings. And honestly, it's just going to come down to what you're putting in. If it's a bagel or if it's toast, it just depends. And you got to kind of play with it. And then you'll know which settings to have it on, whether it's, we're making a lot of our kids the frozen waffles. So we know we got the frozen button there, and we usually go like a 3 on that, and that does the job. So it's very simple. It is a standard toaster. You just pop it in, pull it down, and then it starts to blink as it's counting down the option there. And then when it's done, it pops. If you just hit off, pops it back up. This does come in a 4-toast toaster, but we just wanted to save some room, so we went with 2, and we end up making a lot of toast. But it's holding up so far. Like I said, we've had the microwave here for close to a year. I think it's been a year, and we've had the toaster for a year as well. A lot of kids in the house, a lot of things being heated up in microwaves and toasters, just those quick things. Holding up so far. So let's go on and move on to the last thing here, which is our 1-liter electric 1200 watt tea machine. So I'm actually going to push this in. Tea machine. It's not a tea machine. It's an electric tea kettle. We went with this, again, for the color scheme. My wife has been drinking a lot of tea. So I said, you know what? Instead of getting your water and putting it in a microwave and ruining cups over and over and over again, because you shouldn't microwave them as much as we do, let's get a tea kettle. So went out and bought this. This tea kettle is actually really nice. It's very sturdy. It is metal. I do like the spout. This comes in just very handy when you're pouring. Up here, you got a little vent on the lid. The lid spins. And then if I could pop that off, the lid is held down very nice and tight from these kind of like little expanders there. So it is a very tight fit, which is good because you don't want this dropping and spilling. But if you look inside here, there's a little fill line there, max. And then you have kind of your, I don't know what you want to call that, your evaporation as it starts to boil. But you could see already, this is cold water. I just filled this. You could see already that it's starting to boil there down below. And testing it and using it throughout the last probably 2 months, it starts to, you could hear it. It starts to make the bubbling noise within a minute. Within about 3 to 4 minutes, it's boiling. It's piping hot. And then when you kind of leave it, because my wife will maybe start this and then we'll go put the kids to bed and we're up there for 10, 20 minutes and this is already done. But by the time you come back down, it's still piping hot. It's not very insulated. And I will say that the outside gets very hot very fast. So you just want to watch that, especially relative to where you're putting it on your counter. You don't want your kids necessarily getting in close to it and touching it because it will burn them. So the other nice thing is when you pull this up as it's, in here boiling, the little lever pops off. And then you can see there, that's the only part of the design. It just goes right from the top or the bottom there. So it actually swivels, which is great. But it's a great little tea kettle. So overall, this is a great setup if you're redoing your kitchen, you're trying to go for a white theme, and they do have some they're very soft, I call them like Easter eggy colors that you could look at, like a lavender. But if you check out the color schemes, it is nice, and they do have more products. These are just the 3 we have now. I think they actually have a air fryer I saw. So there's some different things option-wise, but overall, looks great on the counter there. Got my notes. If you want to get any of these products, like I've been saying, they're all linked down below. If you buy there, it helps us, it helps you. If you have any questions on these products, feel free to put it in the comments. My wife and I both monitor the comments and we answer as frequently as we can. But thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, give us a like. We'll see you next time.